Build a website you love. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 1 2 3 4 5 6. We're hoping to get at least a 3-minute warning when they start walking, but we haven't got that yet. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Everybody good? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Good? You're right.
So still no official word on the start time. We will try to give at least a 5-minute warning on that, but we'll do our best on that. So.
Check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Check 1 2 1 2 3 4.
Hello, hello, testing, testing. Hi, everyone. We are 4 minutes out from starting the press conference. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. At today's press conference, we will hear from Governor Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well, and I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who's worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great, and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country. And violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet, all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. You know, this bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes. Because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country. And he said, I'm not optimistic. He said, I hate optimism. Like, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Governor, can you please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in?
I cannot speak to that right now.
Governor, how do you interpret the engravings on casing?
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not, and by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating.
Please.
Talked about this level of hatred that this person expressed in the dinner. Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him to prompt him to commit such a horrific?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
How he came into custody of police and where he is right now?
Yes, so right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody, that his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun was found here. So I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I'm sorry? We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here. I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history, yes. The question is what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s. And having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets, we are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage, again, I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together, the Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion tonight, last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be, I mean, you know, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there. This is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
Could we clarify that the release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m., the timeline that Director Patel gave us, led to the arrest at 10 p.m.? Is there a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened.
One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier? Was he changing outfits?
Correct. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes.
Suspect was from Utah. Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about where, and was he a student here at the student, and is there any history of mental illness?
Yeah. So I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I would just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that. Basically, we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information, as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, here we go. This is the replay of what the governor said at the start of the press conference about the general information he gave out about the suspect.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital O-W-O, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in.
Okay. And then, before I take your comments, the last thing I want to do is just get the, right at the start when he talked about the family friend. What was that specific? How did that work with the family friend? Hold on, I'm going to do this. Just listen to the first 30 seconds again.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah.
So last night, a family member contacted a family friend and told it. I think he means that the family member says to the family friend, "Hey, Tyler Robinson confessed to this," and then the family friend contacted authorities. And the family member may have been the father. There's some reporting about this. I don't think he specified, though. So again, last night, a family member contacted a family friend. The family, as I understand it, the family member said, "Hey, Tyler Robinson confessed to this thing." And then the family friend contacted law enforcement. I'll play that again. It's just I'm trying to follow the exact.
A county sheriff's office committed office and reached out to a family friend who contacted. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored.
So again, he said, last night a family member contacted a family friend, and from my interpretation of what the governor said is that the family member said that Tyler Robinson confessed, and then the family friend contacted authorities. This was last night. Okay, that's now. I don't know what's. Somebody asked about the reward. I don't know how this works with the reward. Does the family member and the family friend get the $100,000 reward, up to $100,000? I have no idea. Anyways, by the way, on your screen right now, you are seeing the mugshot. This is the mugshot. The governor's office sent this out, thanks to B&O News, who letting me use their mugshot there. But that is from the governor's office. And also, speaking of B&O News, I do want to again show you guys, because they did a nice job over there, of they have a post with the writings that are on the casings here. So let me show you this. Oops. The writings engraved on the ammunition. Oops, you can't see it. You'll see it in a second. There it is. Now, I am not fluent in the references to all this stuff. A lot of you guys probably get the references better than me. From what I understand, the Bella Ciao is a popular thing that's said on TikTok, but I am not in a position to start interpreting all of these things. I'll have to read up on this stuff. I know a lot of people in our chat probably get all this stuff. But anyways, those, the governor, hey, fascist catch certainly seems like, directed towards Charlie Kirk. Also, the governor did say, oh, the stuff about him becoming political and saying negative things about Charlie Kirk. Let me just play that for you right here.
Shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual.
So that's, if I have it right, the family member is saying that he had become more political, the suspect, and did not like Charlie Kirk. By the way, the suspect, there's no other arrests anticipated. Okay, so I want to, let me go back here, sorry, hang on a moment. I want to take some comments from you guys. But the suspect is in custody. Let me see here. Let me just get I want to get the writing back up on the screen. There you go. Was Robinson a student? Did he have a job? I don't know if that was said in the press conference. I don't believe it was, but I'm sorry if it was and I just missed it. So I don't remember hearing what he is doing now. Was it said? I was, when the press conference is happening, I was trying to get the mug shot up and stuff. So sometimes something is said and I miss it. Right, right. It was said that they didn't. I think it was said they didn't believe he went to that university.
How you're feeling if you're able to. And that's okay too.
Right. Yeah, I believe that.
Just,
and some of our viewers are saying that he possibly went to Utah State. I don't have that myself. I was just trying to figure out what happened, what they said in the press conference. But I couldn't recall in the press conference it being said about what he was doing now. Oops, sorry. Hold on a second. Who gave him the gun? So I don't know, was that said in the press conference where he got the gun? I don't recall it being said. Spin City says there is a video of him reading his acceptance letter to UVU. Is that true? I haven't seen that yet.
That helps a lot. So I appreciate it. What was your name? Christian, Elena. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
I'll
let you keep, yeah, you're good.
There's also, B&O News also got an arrest report. Oh no, it says it's what was mentioned during the basically, it was what was mentioned during the press conference. That part of it. Hold on a second here. Oh, now I want to say this. So, we had heard, there was reporting yesterday, like, for example, the Washington Post, not the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal had a report yesterday that said the exact words of the Wall Street Journal report yesterday, and there were some other outlets reporting this too, the exact words of the Wall Street Journal were, that the ammunition was engraved with transgender and anti-fascist ideology. Now, I'm not familiar with the origins of basically everything here in the references. It doesn't scream out to me. Well, I believe that Bella Ciao may have some anti-fascist connotations, but I don't know how he's using it. So anyways, look, that's what it was written. I'm not going to start making pronouncements on this stuff without, I don't know all the references. I will say this, though. There's nothing overt. It's not overtly and explicitly supporting some sort of anti-fascist transgender ideology. But again, I don't know all the references, so I'm not going to start making pronunciations on it. But Carl T. Joyful, our viewer, says it's all memes. My sense is that you would need to get the references to get what all of this is intended to get at. I'm aware that it says, "Hey, fascist," but somebody calling somebody a fascist is different than that is different than what would be commonly held as anti-fascist ideology. There are anti-fascist groups. Someone might think someone is a fascist, but not be affiliated or share beliefs with anti-fascist groups. So when the New York Times, when the report, so yes, it says, "Hey, fascist, catch," but you can, the report that was floating around yesterday was that the writing on the ammunition contained anti-fascist ideology. So I don't, to me, saying, "Hey, fascist, catch," as disturbing that is to read, especially knowing that this person shot and killed Charlie Kirk, does not mean that this person was shared belief sets with, say, anti-fascist groups. So I mean, this is not approving of what the person did. Okay, so Evan Hill of the New York Times has something about, I wanna, give me 1 second here. Let me pull something up. Hold on. Hang on a moment here. Hang on a moment here. There are the writings. Evan Hill of the, he's with the Times, right, Evan? A Washington Post. Evan Hill says the first quote is copy pasta parodying furries. The second is probably a reference to calling in an airstrike in the massively multiplayer online game Helldivers. The third seems to be referring to Bella Ciao, an Italian song dedicated to anti-Nazi partisans. Fourth is just a troll joke. That again is from Evan Hill, who is with the who does open source and visual forensic investigations for the Washington Post. I'm just trying to give you some sort of sense of where these things are coming from. I am not an expert on these references here. Yeah, Arik Toller, who I follow, who is with the New York Times, and he does visual investigation stuff and OSINT stuff. He says, "Hey, fascist catch and the arrows is a Helldivers 2 thing. You can release an airdrop bomb with that button sequence." Is the "Hey, fascist catch" from Helldivers 2 or just the arrows? Helldivers 2 is a video game. He says the button sequence is from Helldivers. Only the arrows, people are saying in our chat. The arrows, that button sequence, our chat and people like Arik Toller are saying, is a button sequence in the game Helldivers 2, where you can, I guess, release a bomb in the game.
We're still on standby. Like, I don't even know.
Our viewer Tegan Williams says the OWO thing is a furry meme, which which I believe Evan Hill said as well. The catch one is self-evident. Oh, Bella Ciao is a World War II reference. Well, I've seen the Bella Ciao thing referred to as referencing different things. Tegan Williams thinks it comes off like a Reddit troll got a gun. Now, also, I don't want to overemphasize the stuff written on the ammunition, because look, we don't know that the ammunition writing is meant as a manifesto, right? This person, it's very possible and maybe likely that this stuff written on the ammunition is not meant to be this summary of the person's beliefs and an explanation of why they did what they did. There's maybe some of it is meant to just be some sort of, trolling or jokes or whatever, however bad taste that may be. So I don't want to overdo the emphasizing of the writing. As the governor said, he expressed strong negative feelings towards Charlie Kirk. And Charlie, that isn't specifically written in here. I mean, there's the "Hey, fascist catch." But my point is that, I don't want us to start saying, well, to understand his motivation, I don't think we can just say, well, let's analyze these memes that were written on the bullets. Hang on a second here. Now, I'm sorry. Michael Ruiz with Fox News Digital says Tyler Robinson attended Utah State University for 1 semester in 2021. Okay, so again, Michael Ruiz of Fox News Digital says Tyler Robinson attended Utah State University for once. That's different. Hold on a second here. That's not the university where he was killed. He was killed at Utah Valley University. I'm assuming in the coming hours and days we'll start hearing from people who, media will go interview people who know him or knew him. Screen Door Slams, our viewer says, looks like he was very online. The governor today said social media is a cancer on our society right now. Yeah, he was not a student at that school. Our viewer Fern says definitely super online. And I believe there's not supposed. I think at the end of the press conference, the governor said something that there would be a hearing in the coming days, like a court hearing or something. I'm not sure what when his first appearance in court will be. The suspect. And here again is the mugshot. Oops. Was going to be the mugshot. Uh-oh. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Hang on one moment here. Is this going to work? Let's see if this works. Barry M says, not a student, but knew how to get access to the roof, not buying it. Oh, a whole other aspect of this is the gun. So he left the gun after So, we have been talking about this, and a bunch of our viewers have saying, why did he not take the gun with him? So, why would he just leave it there? So, interestingly, in the press conference, it was said that he messaged his roommate, right? And it sounded like he told the roommate to pick up the gun, right? He gave the roommate the gun, the location of the gun, and wanted the roommate, I think, to retrieve it. If I have that right, I'll try to replay that audio.
As the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits.
Yeah, so it kind of sounded like he wanted the roommate to go pick up the weapon, maybe? That's how I was understanding things. One of our viewers said drop point is the key word there. Yeah, so Mick Funpants said, so the roommate didn't immediately report him to police. That is a good question. So when did the roommate get those messages? What the viewers were thinking is, well, I mean, did the roommate have messages showing that Tyler Robinson, his roommate, did this, and did he not come forward? But remember, the authorities said that no one else, as of right now, that no one else is going to be arrested. They don't anticipate arresting anybody else. But I don't know the specifics here, so I'm not blaming the roommate by any means at all. I'm just saying I don't remember that being said. It's possible the roommate hadn't read the messages. It's possible the roommate did submit tips. I don't know. But I certainly understand the question. Dancing in the Sand says, who knew his plans beforehand? So, We didn't, I don't know if there's any evidence that he talked about doing this with anybody beforehand. It's a fair question, and I do not know. We didn't, they didn't get into that much detail in the press conference about all that. I would not be surprised if more details come out in the coming days, weeks, whatever, about the planning for this. Was this said at all? Again, I can't remember every word of the press conference. Was it talked about whether he went over there and did any kind of dry run or anything like that? And practiced going on the roof or anything? I have no idea. I don't remember it being talked about during the press conference. Uh, 22. I should put that in the headline. It's 22. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 moment. 1 moment. We're taking your comments on the air. By the way, I do want to thank our moderators. We have Beth Mythical is moderating. Thank you, Beth, so much. Also, hold on a second here. Big Ball of Yarn De Bears, I got that fire in Surly Dev. Thank you so much for moderating on Twitch. K. Lowry Body over there on Facebook. Margaret Riley, thank you. Linda Belk, Larry, Misha on X. And let me just say a couple thank yous here while I have a chance. Thank you to Arch Prospero, Isaac Kitchens, Just Rhonda, Chad Sheldon, Stacy Bashford, Barry M, Carl J. Van, The Real Zero, Molly, Dr. Rage, Al3, first name, last name, A-Dubs, Kitty Cat, Molly, that guy from Oregon, Tegan Williams, D. Lathers, Marcus, Nuffsterinator, Peanut Butter and Jelly, Will Horn, McLean 33, Just Rhonda, Warren Meyer, Cyber Fortress, Harkin, Noah, Witsy, thank you, Dr. Rage, Flash Crash, JF, Peanut Butter and Jelly, Isaac Kitchens, The Vladinator, and Guy from the 207. Yeah, we mentioned that TMZ video yesterday, the guy from the 207, where the TMZ had a video posted yesterday that appears to show the suspect walking toward the campus the day of the shooting. Now, it has not been clarified. I don't think it was clarified how he brought the gun there. Some people thought, he was clearly limping or hobbling on the TMZ video. Some people think that he had a gun in his pants or something, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that was confirmed in the press conference. The mechanics of how he brought the gun there, how he transported it, unless I'm forgetting, or unless I missed it. Thanks also to CC on Twitch, by the way, real quick. Miali Music, Banana Coin Domination, thank you. Smash T. Daddy666, Coda, Larry Picklejar, Savage Beastie, Who Shot JR, Incommodious, Devoted Fairy, Dark Crypto, thank you. What was the other thing I wanted to mention? There was something else I wanted to mention that it came up during the press conference. What was it? It was something about how this was done. It wasn't, I mean, I'd want to know if he went there beforehand, but I can't remember. Let me take some more comments from you guys, and I'm going to see if we have any more updates here as well. Look, so what made him confess, right? So you heard the governor of Utah today explain what happened. Last night, a family member contacted a family friend and said that Tyler Robinson had confessed. So apparently, maybe it was last night, it could have been before last night, but at some time recently, I mean, it had to be pretty recent because the shooting was pretty recent, Tyler Robinson confessed. So was he not going to confess and then he decided to confess? But that is a important point of this timeline, is that the being taken into custody, a big precipitating event of that is that he confessed. So I thought that was interesting. Now, I don't know, though. I don't know because there was some reporting suggesting that he confessed after he was confronted about something. Is that what was said? Let me go back here. If I remember right. I thought I read one report that claimed that maybe a family member had seen him and asked him about it or something. I don't see it here. But my point is, he could have confessed if somebody saw the picture and like went up to him and said, "Hey, that looks like you. Is that you?" So we don't have all of the play-by-play of how the confession worked. Yeah, we will watch the press conference again. I will show that again shortly. And GSR says he confessed to his dad. The family friend was the minister. Yeah, President Trump did say that the father was involved and a minister was involved. CNN had reported that he confessed to his father. Thanks, by the way, to Sydney and to Snapper. Maybe what I'll do with the press conference is play again. Maybe I'll play again the part from. Hold on a second. Just the part. I mean, I don't have to play. There's the part where the governor talks about social media and stuff. I mean, I can play all of that again if you want, or I can just play the parts. Not that it's not important, but you can go back and watch that. Do people want to see the whole thing again, or do you want to see just the part where it's not the governor talking about the world situation in social media and just talking about the details of the suspect being taken into custody? I'll see what the chat says. Yeah, I think given what people are saying, I can play the part where the informational part. Maybe I'll replay the informational part about what happened. So the first part with the governor. I'll just play that part again. Now also, hang on a moment here. Now what I'm going to do is do it this way. I got to do this a little differently than I normally do for a technical reason. So if you hang on a second, I'm going to put it on the screen for you right now. But give me a moment here. Let me just... So I will play the part from where we get the information. Oh, and I'll play the Q&A again too. I'll do that. I'll play the first part where he gives the information, and then I'll play the Q&A. Okay? So what I'm going to do is this. It's a little tricky. Let's see if I can do it this way. It's a little different than I normally have to do it for a technical reason. Sorry about that, but this will be all. It'll be all for the best, I think, if I do it this way. So bear with me here. Again, I'm sorry I'm doing this a little differently than I normally do. It's just for a technical reason. So let me just do this. Let me just put that right there. This is going to be the replay. I'll put this up. I'm going to say replay of press conference. Oops, that's not going to work. Oh, it will work. So I know it says live, but this is actually going to be a replay of the press conference. Replay of press conference. And I'm not replaying the whole thing. I'm going to replay the part at the start where the governor speaks and gives the information, and then the Q&A. Let me just make sure I can make this work. It should work. Let's see if this works, if I do it this way. Oops. Let's see if this works.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact name Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact, Tyler, also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this?" ? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! ! Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone.
Okay, so that was the initial information given out by the governor. So I'm going to go, we're replaying this. You can see the whole thing before. The sheriff comes up, and then Kash Patel came up as well. But I want to get to the Q&A part after the sheriff. And again, if you want to rewatch the whole thing, you can just rewind it. But let me get to the Q&A here. Here it is. So this should be the Q&A right here. I think this is the Q&A. Actually, what came first? The Q&A? Was it the Q&A first, or was it the governor spoke for a while and then it was the Q&A? I think the Q&A is at the end, right? Isn't the Q&A at the end? I think. Because again, we're just going to replay the Q&A and the first part. So you know, if you want to hear the rest, you can go back. It's at the end, am I right? All right, let me go to the end.
I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was he said, "Good things are just going. Hope and among us, that was can make it so."
Oh, here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Can you speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in?
I cannot speak to that right now.
You might not be able to hear it. He was asked if he's speaking to authorities and his demeanor when he was arrested, and he said he couldn't actually address that right now.
I cannot speak to that. Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not, and by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating.
Please.
Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him from prompting to commit such a belief?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time. Yeah, please.
In case you couldn't hear the question was there anything you've discovered that might have like radicalized this person to commit this act that they committed? And the governor said nothing we can share at this time.
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor,
Yeah,
you
please.
indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Believe he acted alone?
Yes.
So, that was interesting because the question was about, it sounded, the questioner said, this is a concern some of you were raising, he was communicating to his roommate about the gun. So do you anticipate any other arrests? The response was, we do not have any additional information, I think, that would justify an arrest. So that's basically saying that we don't have evidence that somebody committed a crime. It's not just saying we don't want to arrest somebody, it's that we don't have information. I'll get the exact wording again.
You've been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Yeah, so I take that as him saying that we don't have evidence that somebody else committed a crime. That's how I'm reading what he said.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes. But the investigation is ongoing. Yes, so right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody, that his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun was found here. So I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I'm sorry? We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes. I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here. I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history. Yes. The question is, what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history, or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature. This feels a lot like the late 60s, and having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets. We are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage, again, I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together, the Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion tonight, last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be, I mean, you know, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there. But this is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
Could we clarify that the release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m. timeline that Director Patel gave us led to the arrest at 10 p.m. for a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened. Correct. Yes. So, so when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes. Yeah, so I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I will just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that. Basically, we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. So that's actually okay. So it's an interesting point. So in the coming days, we're going to get more detail on this, I assume, because I assume it sounded like those charging documents will be released. So, but the charging documents will be court documents where they give more information about the investigation into what happened. So, we'll see what we learn when those come out. Let me just go back and do this. Oops, hold on. Let me just get rid of this thing. Sorry. By the way, it was said that he changed clothes on the roof. So did he maybe because there's the video that appears to show him, a couple videos that appear to show him on the roof. Was he wearing all black on the roof? But there's also video, the photos that were released of him show him in jeans and a black shirt. So I don't know what was the clothing change exactly. Did he put on something over his jeans and black shirt? Yeah, I mean, I'll show you the photos of him. Look. Oh, also, I'll show you the video. Hold on. Hold on. I have this video from last night. Where is this video here? Here it is. Oops, what is this? Hang on. Here. Okay, I got it. Here's the video from last night. Okay. And where are the photos? Give me 1 sec. I know the screen is black there. Oops. Don't worry about that right now. What I need to do is do this. Here is turn that off. What's this? Yes. Let's do it this way. Is that being weird? It's a little more technically difficult for me to do this today than normally it would be, so I'm just trying to figure something out here. That is... I know you're seeing a thing that says compose. Where is that coming from? Oh, here? There it is. Okay, good. That's better. Hang on a moment here. This here is, wait a second here. Oh, okay, I think we're good to go. So what if I do this? There it is, great, fantastic, we're in business. All right, so I'm gonna show you, this is the video from last night of him coming off the roof. This is actually higher quality than the one we had last night. So at that point on the roof, as you can see, oops, hold on. Hang on, hold on. Hang on. I want to show you without my banner up there. So give me one moment here. Give me one moment. Let's get rid of that thing. That's the thing up here. Okay. Move this down. Blah, 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 blah. Nope, still didn't do it right. Sorry, there we go. So you guys can hear me right now, I assume. Let's see, there we go. There we go. So, about, in terms of what he's wearing, there, I mean, he seems to be wearing his... It's all black. So what did he change? Again, it was said that he changed clothes when he got on the roof. Oh, the shorts. Did they mention shorts? I thought he did mention shorts. But when were the shorts on? Because he didn't have shorts on. He didn't have shorts before he went on the roof. Yeah, I think maybe he didn't change on the roof because the video, I'll show you the photos again. A lot of you have seen the photos, but the photos of him before the shooting, he's basically wearing this. And that's before he was on the roof. Yeah, is that what it was said, that he got there wearing shorts? I think you're right. I forget the exact wording. People are saying maybe shorts under his jeans. The pictures, let me just show you again the pictures of when he got there. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, for example, like that's one of the pictures of when he, right before the, that's one of the pictures of him right before he, right before the shooting. So he's not wearing shorts. What was the thing? Was the shorts mentioned at the start of the press conference? Let me just replay this, right, the start of the press conference. Is that when it was mentioned? Right here? I'll play the audio for you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th.
Right.
In which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours.
So he showed up at the campus at 8:29 a.m., hours before the event, and he was wearing shorts. So, but that would mean, I think in the press conference, the governor might have misspoken and said he changed on the roof, because he would have had to have changed before. I mean, this is before the shooting, and he's not wearing shorts anymore. So I was just confused because I thought it was said that he had changed on the roof. So I think that was maybe just the governor misspeaking. Right, and as IA Carp says in the TMZ video, well, I don't, did he show up at campus or near campus? I can't. In the TMZ video, he's walking to campus, and he has the jeans on, the long pants on. Anyways, I don't want to spend 2 hours on the clothes question, but he did not wear his shorts to go up onto the roof. It doesn't look like. So I don't know. I don't know all the specifics about the clothing, but oh, en route. He might have said en route instead of on the roof. Maybe he said changed on the roof, on the en route. One of the viewers said maybe he said that. Anyways, again, I'm not going to worry about it right now, but. Rocky thinks he put the rifle there before. I don't know. Well, look, I'm guessing we might get more information, like in the charging document. Maybe we might get more information on the specifics about the clothing and how he brought the rifle and all of that stuff. Oh, TMZ video at the end of it. I don't have the rights to. At the end of the video, in the TMZ video, does he have shorts on? I'm just looking here. TMZ posted a video yesterday. Where is that? I have it right here. I'll post a link to the TMZ video for you guys if you haven't seen it. It's worth watching. I just posted a link to the TMZ video. But in that video, the TMZ video, when he runs away, at the end when he's seen running through a lawn, I'm looking at it right now. I cannot tell if he has shorts on at that point. In that video, it's kind of grainy. Let me see if there's any breaking updates, by the way. Oh, there's a picture of the suspect vehicle. Michael Ruiz from Fox News Digital just posted a picture of the suspect vehicle. So I don't have the rights to this. Fox News Digital posted a picture of the suspect vehicle. I'm posting a link in the chat. And it's a Dodge Challenger. Sarah Rumpf-Witten of Fox News Digital said they captured, Fox News Digital captured a gray Dodge Challenger parked in the driveway of Robinson's family home in Washington, Utah. I was just checking if there were any more updates being reported about this. I'm guessing there'll be new information coming out in the coming days. Oh, CNN reports that the Justice Department may bring federal charges against the shooting suspect this afternoon. Okay? So CNN is reporting that possibly today, the federal government will bring federal charges. They say it's unclear whether the federal charges would be in addition to or replace the state charges. But I don't know. So I also don't know if this, if federal charges. I mean, President Trump has said he supports the death penalty on this, but I don't know if federal charges would bring a death penalty, possible punishment, depending on what he's charged with. So we'll have to see if that happens today. And let me take some more comments from you guys. I'm sorry, what I want to do is, can I get this here? I want to take some more of your comments. One of the viewers asked about the funeral. I don't know when the funeral is going to be. Also, I don't know if the funeral is going to be broadcast or not. President Trump said he was going to award Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom, I think, and said he was going to do a big ceremony. So, anyways, I'm not familiar with any kind of plans for funeral or memorial or that at this point. I mean, so will there be some kind of big, it could be a small funeral and a big memorial service. I don't know. It's a good question. Thank you to Razor Sharp, by the way. Yes, Utah does have has the death penalty.
Hello.
You know, another thing interesting is a bunch of our viewers were wondering, like, the last couple of days, like, did he flee the country, you know? So he could have, we don't know the mechanics of everything, but from what President Trump said and what's being reported, I think President Trump said that he told his father, and they drove to the police, or they drove to the authorities. That's what it sounded like to me. So my point is, it seemed like he ended up with family. He didn't try to, I mean, I don't know what he did, but it doesn't sound like he tried to go to a different state or tried to leave the country. And maybe that wasn't part of his plan. we have no idea how long is this something that he was considering doing. Our viewer Pond says, for me, Charlie Kirk is a martyr for free speech and debate. A. Peacock says there are so many unknowns right now and just lots of speculation. Also, we don't know if he's saying anything to authorities and what he's saying. I think it's worth pointing out. He might at some point talk to authorities and say what he was thinking, or maybe they'll find writings of his and stuff. So we don't know everything there is to know about him. Maybe he wrote something explaining why he was doing this, and it's sitting on his computer or something, and it'll get found. Don't know. Maybe he said stuff to his father about, his motivation. Maybe he said stuff to people online about it. And some of our viewers, I haven't seen this confirmed. Oh, look at that. Look at the new picture. Hey guys, I hadn't seen that picture before of him. This one here. Some of the viewers are saying his father has worked in law enforcement. I haven't seen that confirmed, but some of the viewers are saying that. So that's a new picture right here. Look. Looks like he's about 6 feet tall. Tyler Robinson was admitted to Utah State University on a prestigious academic scholarship, according to a video of him reading his acceptance letter posted on a family social media account. Some of you, I believe, have seen that. He attended for only one semester in 2021. Utah State records say Robinson was registered as a voter, but was not affiliated with either political party. Again, he was admitted to Utah State University on a prestigious academic scholarship, according to a video of him reading his acceptance letter posted on a family member's social media account. That's the mugshot we already saw before. Right there. I'll be interested to see what comes out about him. I'm guessing we'll be hearing more from people who knew him in the coming days. Our viewer in Flashun says maybe the family member didn't want the reward money. Don't know what's happening with the reward. Don't know how that will be handled. You know, will any of the people involved, including family member or family friend, be getting rewarded? I don't know. There's people online talking about his family and stuff. As I said, I'm sure we'll start hearing more details about him. Oh, hold on a second here. Oh, the New York Post has something about him. It's reported. I don't know if it's true. The New York Post says that where is it here? The New York Post says Robinson was turned in after his father recognized him, after the FBI photos were released. That's what the New York Post claims. The father called the Washington County Sheriff's Department and confronted his son when his son returned home, at which point Robinson admitted he was the gunman, the New York Post sources said. Robinson's father asked him to turn himself in, but his son replied that he would rather kill himself. His father then convinced his son to speak with their youth minister, who also serves as a task force officer with the U.S. Marshals Service. The minister called the FBI and agents later took him in. So I don't know if that's true. The New York Post is reporting that the father recognized him from pictures. The father confronts him about it. He admits to the father he did it. And then he says, I'd rather kill myself than turn myself in. And the father has him talk to a youth minister, who I guess convinces him to not take his own life. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that's what the New York Post is reporting. Left-handed thinks it sounds very plausible. Pine Green says more will be revealed. The Washington Post says he is facing at least 3 felony charges, including aggravated murder. He also faces obstruction of justice and weapons charges. Again, Robinson is a... a couple things here, a couple other things. A couple other things I want to point out. Some of you have looked at what apparently was his... Hey, I think his mother... So my understanding is that his mother had a Facebook page that I know a number of you, I think, were looking at it. And, for example, USA Today said his mother had a Facebook page or had a social media. I just went to the page that I believe was his mother's page on Facebook, and it's no longer available. So it looks to me like his mother may have taken down the Facebook page, which I'm not surprised at. As I mentioned, when I went to the page, the top post, which was not about her family, had over 1,000 comments on it, and a lot of them were super negative. So I'm not surprised. But USA Today said that on her social media, suggested that they had a tight-knit family. He was the oldest of 3 sons. That his ACT score from 2020 that she posted about would put him in the top 1% of test takers. Also, he wore a Trump-related Halloween costume in 2017. And I wonder. I wonder if if you go back a couple years, it was said anything in the press conference that he had more recently become more political. So, but in the press conference it was asked about, was there some kind of thing that that radicalized him, and I believe there was no answer. There was no radicalizing event presented in the press conference. But I'll be interested to see when you look back at his life. Is it going to be like, well, for the first most of his life he just wasn't that political, and then he got really political recently? I don't know. The Daily Mail says, oh, sorry. I thought they said something, but I can't find it here. So, the Daily Mail said his father is a police officer. That's what the Daily Mail says. And his mother works in a company that the state uses to help disabled people receive care, for whatever that's worth. Another question is, were there other, there could have been other major issues going on in his life that we have not heard about. So again, I don't know. We'll have to see what we hear about him. What would lead him to do this? Micro Joey thinks someone radicalized him. John Sturtevant says girl problems is next. I have no idea. Chance says from a 2-parent household. I mean, I don't know everything about him. From what we're learning so far, it doesn't sound like I mean, I don't know what's going on with anybody's family, but there's no obvious signs of some, you know, of some really broken down home situation or something. But we don't know. We'll have to see what you know. Who knows? We'll have to see what comes out. D. Wolf says, I believe it's possible he was coached by others to do this. You know, the authorities, the governor said that right now there's no information that would lead to another arrest. Chemo says, now I haven't seen his Facebook. One of our viewers claims on his Facebook he says it was engaged. Now I haven't seen that anywhere else. You know, I certainly haven't seen yet. There's no evidence yet that it certainly doesn't sound like he lived his whole life devoted to, you know, political causes. But we'll have to see what comes out. Also, you know, it could turn out that we look at everything and it's just not real. It could turn out that you look at his life and what's publicly known about him and it's just not clear what led him to do this. I'm not aware he has any criminal record. I'm not aware he has any history of violence. We can see, did he ever commit a crime? You know, so besides this, was he employed with Robin Griffin? I don't know. Thomas Darwin says family seemed normal. Again, I don't know the specifics, and I don't know what's going on in anybody's family, but Ryan Jew says, wonder if he'll have a manifesto. Feels like no at the moment. I would think that if he was online a lot, which it sounds like maybe he was, there might be all kinds of maybe Discord posts he made or whatever. Have the authorities taken his computer at this point? Will they hear about any of his social media posts? Just Rhonda says his background has already been scrubbed. Did he delete any of his social media accounts? I remember that with if I'm remembering right, with the person who shot at President Trump, who tried to assassinate President Trump in Pennsylvania last year. That wasn't when facts started coming out about him. I remember it being kind of mixed and not like, oh, he didn't like live a life devoted to, you know, or wasn't like years of super devoted anti-Trump, if I remember right. I'm trying to perpetrator. I mean, this is an article about Thomas Matthew Crooks, the person who tried to shoot who shot at Trump in Butler. Most neighbors described him as a normal person. The FBI uncovered a social media account believed to be associated with him with about 700 comments from 2019 to 2020. Reports regarding the content of those posts are currently not unanimous. One account from the Gab CEO said posts requested from his platform by the FBI were pro-Biden's immigration policy, whereas a public statement from the FBI deputy director described Crooks's activity on social networking services as anti-Semitic, anti-immigrant, extreme, and espousing political violence. He was a registered Republican. He donated $15 to a voter turnout group, the Progressive Turnout Project, through Act Blue, used by Democrats. My point is, I'm not an expert on Thomas Matthew Crooks, but my point is my understanding of his background is it's not like he didn't have this, devoted years of being super progressive and liberal and totally hating all conservative positions in politicians kind of thing. Yeah, so my point, and you can read more about this, you can read more about it. There's the Wikipedia article on the attempted assassination of President Trump. I don't want to get into that right now. The reason I'm bringing this up is it could turn out that when we start hearing more about this person, you don't really, there's a lot of unclarity there, about, so he did this? But we'll have to see. Yeah, the Scar Up, our viewer Scar Pup Gaming says the world is in black and white. So in some cases, you might look into it and get the information that's out there and be like, man, it's not that it'll make sense to you why somebody would kill someone like this, but even just, it might be really, my point is, it's possible that he didn't have books talking about how he wanted to kill Charlie Kirk and had written pages and pages about how much he hated Charlie Kirk kind of thing, so we'll have to see. A good question by 664 Neighbor of the Beast, which people have asked about earlier in the last couple of days. Do we know if he had previously interacted with Kirk? Great question. Had he gone to other Charlie Kirk events? Don't know. Now, Left-Handed says, at least we'll be able to find out more about the motive from him since he's still here. That is an important difference with the Trump assassination attempt from last year, is that Tyler Robinson is alive and in custody. How much will he talk about his motivation? Also, at a certain point, you might not, there's a world in which he could talk about it but not be honest about it. There's a world in which he doesn't really fully understand his own motivation, as weird as that might sound. So I don't know. Maybe he'll do an interview with some newspaper or something, and you'll read it and you'll be confused by it. Or maybe you won't. So that's a whole other thing, is how much will he talk about this to authorities, to anyone else? Chieftain 4K thinks he will say. It's a good point, though. I mean, with some shootings, like the Trump case last year, the shooter is no longer there, but he's still alive, and he's in custody. So I wonder if and what we'll hear from him. Eric Bush says, even if he shares motive to authorities, it may not be able to be shared publicly. Thanks, by the way, to GoGoFo. And also Peasy Wheats. Razor Sharp, Jiggle Jess, Alex Parker. Alex Parker said that some people, I don't know where Alex saw this, thought that maybe this person had been in a past debate with Charlie Kirk, who was angry. That I don't know. Thanks, two old people on a couch, AI Scream Genius. Arch Prospero. Mama 457 Rose Cardinal Glick Cozy Games. Snapper, Willie Palmer, Nathan Lauder, Sleuthy TV, Sydney. All right. Let me just check if there's any more updates here. Thanks, Lumila Studio. Thank you, Lumila Studio. Renee DeVriend said there was a person with the same name from Utah who worked for a company there, but the company said that that person wasn't affiliated with the shooting. Thanks, Renee. One of our viewers mentioned to me that Thor's beard, that Steven Crowder posted what he said is some internal documents from the Utah County Sheriff's Office about the inmate Tyler Robinson. I'm just looking here. I'm not seeing a lot of, I'm just kind of skimming it over here. So this document, I don't know if it's legit, very well might be, that Stephen Crowder posted, seems to describe surveillance camera footage showing of Tyler Robinson on the roof during the shooting. For example, it says that when he ran across the rooftop, the limp was absent, the limp from earlier that I think you could see in the TMZ video. Yeah, and it just talks about how right after Charlie Kirk was shot, you could see him sprinting on the roof, across the roof. Anyways, maybe that document will be made public, but no, a bunch of the things in that document are things that were talked about in the press conference. Thanks for sending that in, Thor's Beard. You can, if you want to read it, it's at S. Crowder on X, Stephen Crowder. He posted it. Jaxie sent that to me as well. Thanks, Jaxie. Our viewer Per Stormans thinks the mugshot shows Tyler Robinson in a suicide suit to prevent him from committing suicide. That's what Per Stormans says. There's one mugshot right there, and here's the other one. I can't confirm that. I would not be surprised. The New York Post reported that he told his father he would rather kill himself than be taken into custody, but then the father had him talk to a youth minister. And he ended up, I guess, agreeing to be taken into custody. That's what the New York Post reported. Again, it's unconfirmed. Pycon says, I think he went to college and then became radicalized. Seems his downfall started after. He was in college for, I think, 6 months or one semester maybe in 2021, I think it was. Was he a student or worked somewhere? I don't know if he was working recently. It's a good question. Chris says college radicalized him. Again, from the reporting I've seen, he was in college for, what was he, either 6 months or a semester. Don't know what that experience was like for him. Don't know why he didn't go for longer. Janet Smith says, what's he been doing since high school? And I mean, that was a few years ago. So that's certainly a fair question is, you know, what happened to him in college? What has he been doing since? Thanks, Joe Gray, by the way. And Pycon. Seismic Visual says we don't know yet if he was radicalized in college or on.
الطيارة شغالة سير في الساحل.